Welcome to class. Today we are going to be teaching on suffering. What is suffering? According to Spirit Man's definition of suffering in 2023, suffering is a harsh, unpleasant condition or situation that produces negative emotions. Let's just jump straight to the types of suffering. Number one, we have difficulty. What is difficulty? This is a difficult type of suffering. At this point, the suffering does not affect you directly. It affects things around you. For example, marriage, your job, or your career. That's why you hear things like, oh, he's having difficulty in his marriage. He's having difficulty in his job. Number two type of suffering is called torment. What is torment? This is a type of suffering that is imposed on you by someone else. It's an external type of suffering. For example, my boss just dey torment me. My landlord just dey torment me. And this type of suffering can also be caused by spiritual forces. That's why you hear things like he is tormented by a wicked spirit. Number three, pains. What is pains? This is a type of suffering that affects your body, your physical body. It can either be caused by sickness or by accident. That's when you hear things like, oh, I'm in pain. I cannot move my neck. That is pain. Number four, we have trial and tribulation. What is trial and tribulation? This is a kind of suffering that comes upon you by virtue of a great destiny you have in front of you. It is a kind of suffering you pass to achieve a great destiny. That's why you hear things like, oh, because of the great star in this boy's life, look at the trial and tribulation he is passing through. You can take Jesus for an example. Number five, a lot. I know many Nigerians are conversant with this type of suffering. What is a lot? A lot is a conglomerate of suffering. This is when you have multiple suffering. In this case, even if you escape from one type of suffering, you will still meet another suffering. This is when the suffering comes together to attack you. It is a kind of suffering that is familiar with the Nigeria people. Number six is what we call SHEGE. Oh, SHEGE. Many people know about SHEGE. What is SHEGE? This is a national type of suffering. This is a suffering that affects a nation, a race, or a community. This suffering can be caused by unfavorable government policies. At this level of suffering, it has gotten to the place where the suffering has become visible. Now you can see it. For example, you say, oh, because of the increase of the price of fuel, the country is seeing SHEGE. Now you can see it. It is very visible. Now, SHEGE, these SHEGE are in degrees. We have 1A, the normal SHEGE. What is the normal SHEGE? This is the SHEGE that is common with everybody, the whole country passing through the SHEGE. This is a normal, a natural SHEGE. Number two, we have premium SHEGE. What is premium SHEGE? This is a case whereby someone actively participates in installing a government that is showing him SHEGE, whereas you are not even exempted from the SHEGE. That is when you put person inside position, the person where you put, they show you SHEGE, and you see they suffer the SHEGE. This is a very wicked type of SHEGE. It is a SHEGE that leaves you speechless. Many Nigerians are passing through this SHEGE, and you will see SHEGE. Number three, we have the SHEGE Pro Max. What is SHEGE Pro Max? It is an advanced type of SHEGE. This is a SHEGE. This is a conglomerate of SHEGEs. When the SHEGEs are many, when they come together to attack the country, to attack the nation, it is SHEGE Pro Max. For example, you want to go out, you enter your car, and they tell you the price of fuel, SHEGE. You say, okay, I'm not using my car. Let me enter transport. They tell you the price of transport. Shaggy. Okay, you say, okay, I'm not using transport. Let me go and buy food and eat so that I will have strength to trek. You go to the market. They tell you price of food stuff. Shaggy. Anywhere you turn, shaggy. That is what we call shaggy promise. And in shaggy season, there are two types of prayer that people pray. Number one is called the selfish or the self-centered prayer. What is the selfish prayer? This is when you pray for just yourself or your family to be exempted from the shaggy. That's where you hear things like, oh, this fuel increase will favor me and my family. The increase in the price of foodstuff, the increase in the price of goods will favor me and my family. That is selfish prayer. Then the second one is called the priesthood or the intercessory prayer. This is when you take it upon yourself to pray for the country, especially the leaders and the lawmakers. You pray for the progress of the country. You pray for the economy of the country. This is the biblically approved type of prayer. That's why the Bible says, if my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, say, I will forgive their sins and I will heal their land. So I want us to adopt the intercessory type of prayer. Now, what are the advantages of suffering? Number one, it teaches you patience. It teaches you long suffering. You see the name? Long suffering. Number, the disadvantages, that's just the advantage. The disadvantages is that you will suffer. That's just the disadvantage. Suffering will make you suffer, feel tired for life. So that is the end of today's class, and I'm going to give you an assignment. Assignment number one, with what I've been taught so far, elaborate, expatiate the type of suffering you are passing through right now, and in not less than 2 words, describe how this country can be delivered from Shaggy. Submit here, and remember, 2,000 marks. Thank you.